Opening words today are two quotes. From Richard Feynman, a 20th century American theoretical physicist. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. Explore the world. Nearly everything is really interesting if you go into it deeply enough. And from Sylvia Earle, an American oceanographer and explorer, also 20th century. The best scientists and explorers have the attributes of kids. They ask questions and have a sense of wonder. They have curiosity. Who, what, where, why, when, and how. They never stop asking questions, and I never stop asking questions, just like a 5-year-old. Mary will light the chalice here in the sanctuary. At this time, if you are able, we invite you to light your own chalice at home and place it where it can be seen by all of us. Not cooperating. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us and the community. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind you to leave yourselves muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with Mary and me as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. So let us all sing the opening hymn, Come Sing a Song With Me, number 346. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you've joined us today. As a Unitarian Universalist community, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation inviting speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest to our community that connects with the UU 7 principles. Today's service centers around the fourth principle. We affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. As responsible religious seekers, we recognize that we are privileged to be free, to have resources to pursue life beyond mere survival, to continually search for truth and meaning, to exist beyond bonds of dogma and oppression, and to wrestle freely with truth and meaning as they evolve. My name is Jan Kallner, and I am your worship associate this morning. I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning under these challenging circumstances. If you are a guest and would like to introduce yourself, please raise your Zoom hand and unmute yourself when Diane calls your name.
All right. Well, don't see any hands today, but welcome all who are here, who are new, and our usual folks as well. Back to you, Jan.
We have Marilyn wants to check in.
We have a raised hand.
We do.
Okay. I just want to say hello. I'm part of Nancy's other community, the One Island Family UUs in Key West, Florida. Thank you for letting me share time with you.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Jan.
Okay, thanks, Diane. And thank you all. If you are not on our mailing list, please visit our website at www.uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. And please check out What's Happening, a weekly e-blast sent to all our members and friends. This is a great way to keep up with the latest news in our community. And a reminder, if you wish to see this or any of our past Zoom services again, recordings of them can be found on the UUCC website and Facebook as well. The membership committee invites non-members to consider joining our community. Please contact Janet Cooper or a person on the board if you are interested. Thank you. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. Let us now recite the affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for any short announcements that would be of interest to our UU community members and friends. Please keep your items short and to the point. For any items that need more explanation, please call or email the person after the service to be respectful of everyone's time. If you have an announcement, please raise your Zoom hand by clicking on the Raise Hand button in the reactions icon. When Diane calls your name, please unmute yourself, then speak.
All right, Robert and Nancy, please unmute yourself and make your announcement.
Okay, hi, this is
There you
Nancy. Just letting you know that the Moving Toward Racial Justice group is meeting this Wednesday at 7. There'll be a Zoom link in the newsletter this week, or you can contact me, Nancy Tolan, to get that link. I think I've sent it to everyone who usually comes, but anybody's welcome to come. The book that we're discussing is The Fire This Time, and you can, I don't know how you see this, you could get it on Cloud Library, either the audio or the print version right after service. it's available right now. Hope everyone comes, or anyone comes who wants. Thank you.
Diane, the sanctuary has 2 announcements.
Okay,
Okay. I just want to say we have a couple more days left if you want to make a contribution to the scholarship fund, which is just, I'm overwhelmed by the response we've gotten. We have enough to give 7 and maybe a little bit more scholarships. So thank you so much. And Andy has an announcement also.
Thanks, Jan. Good day, everyone. I mentioned that we're looking for a delegate to the Pacific Southwest District, the UUA district that we belong to, that represents us. And a great way to start that involvement would be next Saturday morning. You can see on the slide, the Pacific Southwest District is having its annual meeting titled Exchanging the Love. The business session starts at 9 and it'll go from 9 until 10. In conjunction with our annual business meetings, the district and the Camp de Benneville Pines are offering an opportunity to love right through locally by connecting with other UU Pacific Southwest Service Area congregants. You can exchange ideas, actions, and thoughts in breakout rooms on a variety of topics. Some of those topics are regionalization, widening the circle, environmental justice, immigration justice, BIPOC, worship arts, religious education, and youth space. So if you're interested in attending the meeting just to get to see how it works, or even better, to be a delegate representing our congregation, you can go to the UUA website and find the Pacific Southwest District for more information. And if that doesn't work, just give me a shout by email or phone, and I'll be happy to walk you through it. Thanks.
thank you, Andy. Mary Ann, please unmute yourself and make your announcement.
Good morning. I was just having a conversation with a bird in the tree over there. Hi, everybody from Maui. I wanted to remind you that Thursday, 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, we're going to be resuming our poetry spoken word and on Zoom. Contact me if you're interested. We have a very special guest this time, Melinda Gahn, who is the creator of the Martin Luther King International Peace Poem Project, the longest peace poem in the world. And she also founded the Maui Live Poets Society. So that's going to be this Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Please contact me. There will be open mic afterwards, and please contact me if you're interested. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you, Mary Ann. Susan, would you please unmute yourself and make your announcement?
Yes, hi, everybody. This is, I've been announcing for the last 3 weeks, so this is 4 weeks now. If anyone is interested in coordinating the rewriting of our operations manual, Randy has volunteered. We're looking for other members on a committee. If you don't want to be on the committee, but you have input for Randy, so far he's the only volunteer. So if there's anyone else who would like to participate in that process, it's a coordination of contacting each of the committee chairs and getting details on the processes that they do, the procedures they use, and putting that all together into a new operations manual. So please contact myself or Randy if you are interested in being on this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I see no other hands, so it's
Diane,
back-
I have one.
oh, Randy has one. Okay,
I can't raise my virtual hand.
there you go.
Just a real quick announcement. First of all, Lou has joined the committee, so he's on, and I appreciate that. But the announcement I have is I sent out a survey. This is on behalf of the reinstating, getting back into the sanctuary subcommittee led by Joel. And we sent out a survey. So if you received one, but haven't returned it, please do so as soon as possible. Many of you have, but I'd like to get input from as many people as possible. So if you received a survey, please send it in. If you didn't receive a survey, would like to chime in, send me a note and I'll get that survey out to you post haste. Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Randy. Back to you, Jan.
Thanks, Diane. Next week, the worship committee We'll read Love Letters to the World. Sharing together some of our personal and significant joys and concerns brings us closer as a faith community. We invite you to share the milestones that are deeply felt as a part of your personal life. But please be mindful and considerate of all who come to worship with us this morning. This is a time of community building. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and sorrows which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading is a poem entitled The Rainy Day by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He resided in Portland, Maine, which is very near where Nancy lives on Peaks Island in Maine. And he was considered America's first professional poet. The day is cold and dark and dreary. It rains and the wind is never weary. The vine still clings to the moldering wall, but at every gust the dead leaves fall, and the day is dark and dreary. My life is cold and dark and dreary. It rains and the wind is never weary. My thoughts still cling to the moldering past, but the hopes of youth fall thick in the blast, and the days are dark and dreary. Be still, sad heart, and cease repining. Behind the clouds is the sun still shining. Thy fate is the common fate of all. Into each life some rain must fall. Some days must be dark and dreary. Let us join in a time of meditation, of prayer, and of silence. Let us seek the quiet and the calm, laying aside our struggles. And in the silence, may there be a deep reverence in our hearts and thankfulness within our spirit and a deepened understanding of the meaning of our lives. Let us enter the stillness. Please come back now. The second reading is a short story from Fables by Arnold Lobel, titled The Baboon's Umbrella. I will read the part of the narrator and the gibbon, and Nancy 3 will read the part of the baboon. The baboon was taking his daily walk in the jungle. He met his friend, the gibbon, on the path. "My good friend," said the gibbon, "how strange to find you holding an open umbrella over your head on such a sunshiny day as this."
"Yes," said the baboon, "I am most annoyed. I cannot close this disagreeable umbrella. It is stuck. I would not think of walking without my umbrella in case it should rain. But, as you see, I am not able to enjoy the sunshine underneath this dark shadow. It is a sad predicament."
"There's a simple solution," said the gibbon. "You need only to cut some holes in your umbrella. Then the sun will shine on you."
"What a good idea!" cried the baboon. "I do thank you."
The baboon ran home. With his scissors, he cut large holes in the top of his umbrella. When the baboon returned to his walk, the warm sunshine came down through the holes.
How delightful, said the baboon.
However, the sun disappeared behind some clouds. There were a few drops of rain. Then it began to pour. The rain fell through all of the holes in the umbrella. In just a short time, the unhappy baboon was soaked to the skin. So you see, advice from friends is like the weather. Some of it is good, some of it is bad. Please join in singing April Showers by Louis Silvers and B.G. De Silva.
Life is not a highway strewn with flowers, still it holds a goodly share of bliss. When the sun gives way to April showers, here's the point that you should never miss. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. Though if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know, it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song whenever April showers come along. I have learned to smile when skies are gloomy, smile although my heart's about to break. When I know that trouble's coming to me, here's the happy attitude I take. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know, it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song whenever April showers come along. Today's talk is titled The Umbrella Cover Museum, Celebrating the Mundane, to be delivered by Nancy Hoffman. The talk covers the following principles. Principle 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And Principle 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Nancy Hoffman, yes, her middle name is the number 3, is music director of One Island Family, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Key West, Florida. Key West is where she met Jan Kollner, me, when they worked together in the orchestra on a production of Pippin. Nancy is also founding member of the Casco Bay Tumblers klezmer band, playing Eastern European Jewish folk music. Nancy founded the Maine Squeeze Accordion Ensemble, also based in Maine. In addition, Ms. Three is the founder, director, and curator of the Umbrella Cover Museum, which holds the Guinness World Record for the most umbrella sleeves. She sings in 25 languages and has performed in a dozen countries. Her time is split between Key West, Florida, and Peaks Island, Maine. We are happy to have her today zooming in from Key West. Nancy?
First, I really want to say thank you to Jan for inviting me and to all of the people that have been helping to set up this service and talk for me today. I always love connecting with Jan, so this was a great excuse to do it. And I thought I would start with a song. I've strapped on my accordion, and this is a song that introduces you to my museum of umbrella covers. Come look at the umbrella covers. They've come over land, over sea. They're sure to impress and amaze you. Their beauty and diversity. Umbrella covers, those things that you lose when it starts to rain. Umbrella covers, we all celebrate the mundane. Their curator is Nancy Hoffman. Her middle name is number 3, that's me. She's gathered some 2,000 covers from people like you and like me. Sing along. Umbrella covers, those things that you lose when it starts to rain. Umbrella covers, we all celebrate the mundane. They come from a place called Peaks Island. It's in the U.S. state of Maine. Along with the Guinness World Record, we all shout out, long may they reign. Umbrella covers, those things that you lose when it starts to rain. Umbrella covers, we all celebrate the mundane. That's a theme song I wrote myself, you could tell. And of course the tune is My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, which I found is one of the most internationally known songs in the world. So before I start my slide presentation, I just want to tell you that it's true. It's just the sleeves, just the pockets, the sheaths, those little slip covers, cases that come on umbrellas when you first buy them. And most people do not know what to do with them. They get lost, they get thrown in the closet, they get dropped on the ground. Very few people use them religiously, very neat people, I have to say, and very few people throw them out right away. So I just want to take a quick poll while you're in this view. How many people think they might have an umbrella cover lying around the house or the car somewhere? So I see 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd say a good half maybe of the group that's out here, maybe not quite. Of course, I don't know how much it rains in Cambria, but normally I'd say 70% of people do not use their umbrella covers but don't know what to do with them. And that got me thinking. So I'm going to now share my screen here. And let's take a trip. We'll take a trip to a little island off the coast of Portland, Maine. And we're going to get on the ferry here at the Casco Bay Line's terminal in Portland. We're going to take about a 15 to 20 minute ride over Casco Bay. And it's a little foggy, misty today, but that'll burn off quickly, especially because it's summertime. You can see some houses dotted along the coastline. And here we are at the dock on Peaks Island. And I'm going to show you a little video of coming in to Peaks Island. A lot of tourists today. There's the main street going up the hill. You can rent a kayak here at the little beach. There are a couple of inns, very few places to stay now but Airbnb. And off in the woods is where this year I had the Umbrella Cover Museum. More about that later. But normally, you'll see this is another view of the island, of the bay, and a typical house. This woman is a British magistrate, Philippa Hopkins, with her cup of tea, and you can't quite see it, but she has a little black umbrella cover there with a story that she's donating all the way from England to my museum. And let's take a peek. There it is, the world's only umbrella cover museum. And it's a pretty unassuming building on the main street of this little island. So I started thinking about umbrella covers one day when I cleaned out my closet, and I found a few umbrella covers, and they were just lying around, but did I throw them out? No. I started wondering whether anyone ever used their umbrella covers, and if so, why, just what was going on with umbrella covers. So I started asking people. And this is how many I have now. So many people have given me their umbrella covers that I had a huge collection. Well, it's taken 26 years. This was 25, 26 years ago. So I started asking people for their umbrella covers, and they would hand them to me. I put them on my kitchen wall, including the story that went with them. The first person was my friend Becky from Miami, Florida. Here she is with a donation ready to go. And she also gave me one of her favorite colored umbrella covers off of a duck-handled umbrella, because she's a birder, she's an Audubon member. And she said, I took the umbrella with me, but I left the cover at home on a trip to Nassau. When I got to Nassau and it started raining, I realized I had left the duck at the dock. So the umbrella was long gone, and she gave me the umbrella cover. So that was the first. And I always then asked people, what happened to the umbrella? Where did you buy it? Did you keep the cover for a reason? So it really was a curiosity project at first. And when people gave me their covers, I would hang them up. This is about how many I had when I decided to open it as a museum. And it really started as a party. It was invite my friends and neighbors, have some cupcakes because they have covers on them. I had the umbrella covers on the wall, and you can see each one of these has a story that goes with it. And it was just a festive time. I was open once a month in the summertime, and then the next year I opened it again. And pretty quickly, a friend of a friend who writes stories for NPR, Karen Michelle, heard about it, came out and did a piece about my little tiny museum on Sunday Weekend Edition. Well, then the BBC saw that I had a website. And of course, the British are very interested in umbrellas. It rains all the time. They use their umbrellas. And so BBC called me, and I thought, wow, I guess I must really have something here because people are interested. So here's another view of some people. They're pointing to the umbrella cover that they donated with kitty cats on it. This is one of my interactive exhibits. I have a lot of games people can play. This one's for kids to match up the animal umbrella cover with the picture. And I do catalog them all. After a couple years, I realized if I didn't write down and tag every umbrella cover, I would never remember who they all came from. I actually was asked to speak at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte about the question, is categorization something we impose, or is it a natural phenomenon? Are there naturally divided species, genres, races, or is that all a human construction? So I have to say, in case of umbrella covers, pun intended, it's really up to the curator how they're divided. So here's another view of the museum. There's a timeline of the history of the umbrella, which goes back thousands of years. In the upper right, you can see a little black construction with an arch there. That is Stonehenge, made out of umbrella covers. Yeah. So I had a lot of plain black ones. Of course, they do each have a story, but that's one of the things I've done. And on the left, under Queen Elizabeth's picture and a little moment of sadness for her husband, Philip, who died recently, there's an exhibit called Mad for Plaid, which is another game people play. Guess which one really came from Scotland of all those plaid umbrella covers? There's only one. So the fact that plaid is popular around the world, that we can all relate to umbrella covers, is kind of an international coming together of cultures. So here you see a couple of the specific umbrella covers that I have in the museum. is my view of people on the side, can you see that? Is that in the way? Yes, I'm going to get that out of the way. So I'm sorry about that. So I want you to see the whole picture there. Okay, so that's my friend Josephine and a friend of hers showing you the map of the world where all of the umbrella covers come from, now 73 different countries, which really relates to our principle of the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, because I use it to say there's something in common around the world, even if it's something as silly and simple as umbrella covers. Everyone can relate to these, and they can be the same in one country or different, but everyone can relate to them. So here are some visitors. Families love to come to my museum, and everybody wins a prize. So they're holding up the little tiny drink parasols. Those are the prizes. And it started out where if you won the game, say Mad for Plaid, you found the Scottish cover, I would give you a prize. Well, then the brothers and sisters wanted prizes too, so I gave them prizes. Then the grown-ups started saying, oh, I want one. So I realized that it's just another commonality. Everybody loves to win a prize. And we don't judge people. I try to keep people from being highly competitive because, okay, here's your prize, here's your prize, here's your prize. It's a really kind of an equalizer at the museum that everybody can do the games, everybody can appreciate the umbrella covers. And our motto is celebrate the mundane. So the ordinary things in life can be joyful. Like the first quote from Richard Feynman said, you can just look deeply into anything and it becomes interesting. And also it's not a museum about famous people. It's about ordinary people donating their umbrella covers, wanting to be part of this collection, telling me their story, and everyone is unique. So I really love that too. Here's a group of visitors. Sometimes I get that many people in this little space. So we're almost at the other end of the space where this camera is. And they're actually singing our theme song. You can see a few maracas there. I pass out little maracas. People can shake along. We'll do that at the end of my virtual tour here. So you get to enjoy that too. Here are a couple of great international donations. This is the Russian and Finnish covers. So the couple on the left, Terry and Ruth Moore, were in Russia. Terry's brother is on my board of trustees, also known as my board of troublemakers. So I found out he was in Russia. I said, Michael, please text Terry and say, maybe you could get a good Russian cover. So they got this Russian matryoshka or babushka doll type umbrella cover. I didn't get the umbrella and I don't want the umbrellas. I'm really more fascinated with the covers, although I do have quite a few umbrellas, and in certain cases I will accept them. Helena on the right is from Finland, and there she is donating her personal umbrella cover, and then she sent me another very special one. After a while, I realized there was more to my museum than met the eye, and I created a mission statement. Here it is. I'm just going to move this little thing out of the way too. The Umbrella Cover Museum is dedicated to the appreciation of the mundane in everyday life. It is about finding wonder and beauty in the simplest of things, and about knowing that there is always a story behind the cover. So that is something that has really kept me going and really connects with a lot of people. It's been written about. I usually make people read it out loud. I mean, I don't make them, but I ask them enthusiastically because it has a little more presence, a little more pizzazz. On the left, you'll see an Aboriginal dot painting style Dreamtime umbrella cover from Australia. And there's the special Finnish one. They're called Moomin Trolls, and they're a book and a cartoon series from Finland and Sweden. Here's my intern, Gage, pointing out the smallest cover in the museum. It's a Barbie doll umbrella cover. She's holding a little tiny fake umbrella with a green cover on it. I do have interns, and two of my interns, here you see Ellie and Noah Kim, who have worked with me since they were this old. They're now in their 20s, and Ellie just put up my new website. Noah, when he was young, said, "You should try for the Guinness World Record." So we went down to the library where they had good Wi-Fi at the time, and we applied thinking, naturally, they let us into their Guinness World Record because who else is even trying? Wrong. They rejected my category because there was no category. They get 65,000 requests a year for a new category. So 5 years later, we tried again and got approval for a new category. Ta-da! We could count for the Guinness World Record, and here it is. 2012. We had to organize everything so that there were no duplicates and no handmade covers. We did it by color, by size, by design. We requested judges. They wanted an expert in my field, but there weren't too many other umbrella cover experts. So I asked museum professionals, and they're carefully making sure there are no duplicates. We had to film it, we had to record it, we had to catalog it, send off all the information, and ta-da! I got the Guinness World Record for the most umbrella covers, and that was 10 years ago. Funnily enough, no one has challenged me, so I'm still the world record holder. I try to be very current as well. I've had 2 political umbrella cover displays during 2 past election years, not this most recent one, and now our most recent exhibit is about climate change. The way it works is that the statements, which are on recycled cardboard, appropriately enough, need a finish to the sentence. Like the blue one next to the barometer there in the middle of the left-hand side says, "One animal species affected by the melting ice cap is the," what's that on there? It's a polar bear on an umbrella cover. They're all umbrella covers. There's a little cactus talking about deserts on the right. And at the very bottom, it says, "We don't want humanity to end up like this," which is a doll, as in the Mexican Day of the Dead. I saw that you had a special Day of the Dead honoring the dead through your UU. This has a zipper on the back, and it used to hold an umbrella. Well, it's a pretty grim ending, but it's all done with humor. And that's another thing about my museum, is that it has a lot of humor. I mean, I love museums in general. I don't deny any academic part of museums or any seriousness of museums. That has its place. My museum uses humor to engage people, and I find that that is really something that works, that keeps people interested, even if they're skeptical. There are a lot of skeptics, especially men, I have to say, who walk in and go, "What is this all about?" But if I can keep them hearing more and more and the humor going, they become engaged. It's really a serious question. It's ironic, but can humor be taken seriously, or can humor be used for serious concerns? I definitely think that the answer is yes. So here we have another couple exhibits I just wanted to show you. We've got kid-friendly covers with a Harry Potter cover on the far right. We've got art and umbrella covers where you guess which ones are by Monet, perhaps by Mondrian or Tiffany Glass. These are all donated by people from all over the world, and they all have a story. Okay, there are sexy covers. If you open the door to the little back room, which is also the bathroom, I call it the museum annex, there are sexy covers. What could be sexy? Well, okay, umbrella covers do look like condoms, and the photograph in the lower right-hand corner in the box is a picture of French condoms. So I keep that in a box with a few other really rude X-rated covers so that little kids are not tempted to look in there and go, "Mommy, Daddy, what's this?" No, but they can see, if their parents let them in, the leopard skin style ones. There are fishnet stocking umbrella covers. You can see one hanging on the right, high-heeled shoes on an umbrella cover. And Jan Calder donated the beautiful, shiny, hot pink umbrella cover that's on both of these displays. So there is, yeah, who knew, sexy umbrella covers. This was my dream, to take the show to England because of their appreciation. And I managed to raise funds over 5 years to go to Bristol, England for 2 weeks to this beautiful gallery about 4 times larger than the space that I'm in Maine. So I had to rebuild these exhibits. I carried them all over in 2 suitcases. A curator friend said, why don't you use the tops of umbrellas to fill up the space, which worked beautifully. I got volunteers in England to help me hang the exhibit. And that was really a special moment for my museum. Another special thing is that I'm now representing the state of Maine on the World Channel, which is the PBS online video accumulation. And Barber has done one very short 5-minute film about they're almost done, of the 50 states, and he chose me and my museum to represent the state of Maine. There's also a lot on YouTube if you want to look it up, or Google some of the interesting articles about my museum. And of course, through my website, umbrellacovermuseum.org, you can see links to all of this and learn more about my museum. What happened during COVID? I could not put 2.5 people. That's all I could have fit legally into my museum. So after 2 months of being really confused and distressed, someone loaned me a tent. The Lions Club on Peaks Island loaned me the property that I could put it on, and I redid the exhibits. I put them in plastic so they wouldn't get too warped or the ink wouldn't run. I made it very user-friendly so I didn't have to walk around with people and give them a tour. I put up signage saying stay 6 feet away, masks required, and there it is right on the bay. You can see a little glimpse of the bay in the back right-hand side. And it ran for most of all of August and a little bit of July and September. Almost 1,000 people came to see my little quirky museum. It's gotten kind of famous, certainly as a place to view in New England and among other, slightly eccentric museums in the world. There's a family viewing my Guinness World Record and being very careful as they look through the museum. A sign there says 6 feet here, wait until people pass. There's a family getting ready to sing our theme song. One of the most interesting stories, I think, is with the blue umbrella cover on the left that has a yellow fish embroidered on it. It's from the country of Benin in Africa. And interestingly, there's a kingdom called the Dahomey Kingdom, which still exists, where every time they initiate a king, they build a new castle, they hold an umbrella that looks like this cover over the king's head. Sadly, the extra part of the story is that this is the country from which millions of slaves were taken from Africa, and many times the local people were the ones that captured their other citizens, brought them to this place where they were then taken away by European and American slave traders. So that's one of the more serious stories that goes with my museum, and I like the fact that it is educational, particularly about places around the world. Here's another coup that we made this year. The smallest museum in St. Paul, which is a fire hose cabinet on the outside of a building, invited me to put my exhibit up, and that's where Jan Callner saw me doing my talk about the Umbrella Cover Museum and invited me to speak with you. It's here's a close-up of this museum. It's curated, and generally every month or two a different exhibit is put in here. You'll see the banana, the yellow thing on the right, and there's a wine bottle umbrella and cover. Now in both of those cases, I really needed to include the umbrella because otherwise they wouldn't look right. So those are, instances where I do have the umbrella and the umbrella cover, and that's a facsimile of the Guinness World Record on the left. So I think that after all of this, there's a lot more that I've thought about with regards to umbrella covers, but that all of this does relate to principle number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Who knew it could come via umbrella covers? Here's another group ready to play our theme song, and I think it's almost time for you to join me in playing our theme song. I'll be glad to take questions and comments at the end, but first I want to thank very, very much Randy, Mary, Andy, Diane for putting on what a beautiful service you do. It's so helpful, informative, and we did a great run through yesterday. and especially my dear friend and fellow musical cohort, Jan Kallner, for inviting me to be here today. So this one I'm going to put up the words for you. We'll sing it through twice, and I'll get my accordion back on. So we have musical accompaniment. I didn't write this song. You might recognize it from the 20s. It was one of those songs written by people in Tin Pan Alley to sell music and pianos. And it just grabbed me as the right attitude for my museum. Just let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. And if your sweetie cries, just tell her that a smile will always pay. Whenever skies are gray, don't worry or fret. A smile will bring the sunshine and you'll never get wet. So let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. One more time. Just let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. Sing along. And if your sweetie cries, just tell him that a smile will always pay. Whenever skies are gray, don't worry or fret. A smile will bring the sunshine and you'll never get wet. So let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. All right. I see a few smiles out there. I'm really glad. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. It was delightful. Normally, at this time, we receive offerings from our congregants. However, due to the virtual format of this service, we invite you to make your offering in one of the methods shown on the slideshow. These methods are posted in the newsletter and on the UUCC website. Please keep in mind that our congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. You are invited to participate in the blessing of giving by sending us an offering. Thank you. The rain was courtesy of Andy on the rain stick. Thank you. Thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Let us now sing the doxology. From all that dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue. join in singing the closing hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere, number 95.
1, 2, 1.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. Let us now recite the valediction. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, and we know that the light of truth and love and the warmth of this community go with us until we meet again. Please extinguish your chalice at home at this time. After the benediction, please click on the gallery view button in the upper right corner of your screen, but please remain muted. Diane will call on you if you raise your Zoom hand. Nancy?
May you find in your life ways to celebrate the mundane and to find wonder and beauty in the simplest of things. And don't forget that there's always a story behind every cover, behind every object, every plant and animal, and certainly behind every person. And Brandy has appropriately put up a sculpture of an umbrella cover there.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.